Zero hedge. Yeah, zero hedge. What do we have here? Only 3% of homeowners in parts of hurricane slammed North Carolina have flood insurance. By the way, Dick Algar's thing that he remote viewed last month about this dome shaped thing, I think it was the New Mexico Solar Observatory deal, not related to this hurricane because there was one solar or a nuclear power plant, had to register an incident, but it's like the lowest level, extremely minor. Of course, if that changes over the coming days and we find out, oh no, that's not the case, it's worse or something's going on, I'll be out here to tell you about it. Because that also is a dome-like structure where the fuel rods are. So, anyways, I think Dick got that with got a hit still, but just on the solar observatory part of this, because he didn't see numerous buildings. It was one domed structure, security alert, security event, and it really fit the bill. So that's good news because I don't think you'd want nuclear problems, right? Neither would I. Anyways, only 3% of homeowners in parts of Hurricane Slam, North Carolina had flood insurance. And their house is flooded. Many have flooded, and the insurance is saying, sorry about your luck. So now let me tell you how this goes. If that were the banks, they'd get bailed out. AIG, who's the insurance company who didn't have the money to bail them out, also got bailed out so they could then bail out the banks. You poor tax-paying schmuck, according to the government, you lose. We will not be there to bail you out. We won't be bailing out the insurance companies to bail you out. As my sister used to say, nobody said life was fair. Like Mama Fratelli, follow them size fives. This doesn't look like water to me, ma'am. It's wet, isn't it? Drink it. Hurricane Florence's lacerating rains have finally moved on from the Carolinas, but the flooding threat posed by multiple rivers, particularly in the hardest hit state of North Carolina, remains high, as this photo, which, maybe you want to take a little peek. Nah, not doing it. Not giving you it. Just listen, okay? Porque? The hardest hit state of North Carolina remains high, as this photo of Cape Fear River, tweeted earlier today by the Fayetteville Police Department, clearly shows. But basically, it's a bridge about to be underwater, a little small bridge. The river is projected to rise nearly 45 feet to near 62.4 feet by Tuesday, according to the National Hurricane Center, which would be a record-breaking level for the region. As of Monday, Swainsboro, North Carolina has received nearly 31 inches of rain, which was also a record. The intense flooding has invaded power plants and caused lagoons filled with hog waste to overflow, a phenomenon that will be difficult for state authorities to undo. Aside from the structural damage, the human toll from the storm was also severe, with 35 fatalities across the Carolinas and Virginia. But as the water levels recede, rattled residents will begin returning to their homes to see what, if anything, is left of their properties. And unfortunately for hundreds of thousands of them, they will be on the hook for tens of thousands of dollars in damages. Because, as USA Today reports, only a small fraction of them have a flood insurance policy. In the coastal areas that were hardest hit by the storm, USA Today estimates that only between 10, maybe 20% of homes are insured. Further inland, where flooding is still devastating thousands of homes, rates are as low as 1%. Only 10 to 20% of coastal homeowners in the hard-hit area, eastern part of North Carolina, for example, have coverage through the government's National Flood Insurance Program, and only 1 to 3% of homes in inland counties have flood policies, according to estimates from John Rollins, an actuary at consulting firm Milliman. Statewide, roughly 3% of the homes in North Carolina have flood insurance, and 8% of homeowners are covered in South Carolina, he said. What does a person do if they go back to their house, they have a mortgage they owe, plenty left they owe on, and they realize, oh my God, my house is pretty much destroyed? If any water at any level gets into your house, all the walls are in trouble. It could be devastating. What does a person do? It's 2008 all over again, except for a different reason. Walk. They're going to walk away. Hashtag walk away. Not from the Democratic Party this time. Hashtag walk away from your house. What else you get? What are they going to do? Some people will try to bite the bullet and get it fixed. But did you hear tens of thousands of dollars to fix it? Now, I'm the same guy that comes out here from time to time and shows you the statistics of the average American not having more than, say, $500 in their pocket or in their savings account. And then when you up it to, well, how many people have 1,000 or more, it's even less. It's a tiny fraction. So who the hell has tens of thousands potentially to go right in and fix their home up? They would have to go to the bank, mortgage company. I need a loan. Oh, well, what's your house worth? Well, at the moment, it's worth an amount worse than terrible because we just got nailed. I'm trying to get a renovation loan. Can you get a renovation loan? Not looking good. Flood insurance in most parts of the country is purchased through the federal government's National Flood Insurance Program. If a would-be homeowner wants to buy a home in an area marked as a flood risk, they're required to purchase a policy. As with many government programs, critics argue that these misplaced incentives adversely encourage development in risky areas. In support of that, ProPublica produced a map of chronically flooded homes in Florence's path that have had numerous claims paid since the late 1970s. But even those who own a policy through the NFIP could find themselves in trouble since the program, which keeps premiums unreasonably low to accommodate low-income individuals, ready for this, is $20 billion in debt. So the National Flood Insurance government program is $20 billion in debt currently. At the end of July, there were 134,306 active NFIP flood policies in place in North Carolina, Bowen said. That's only 3% of the estimated 4.62 million housing units in the state, he said, citing the Census Bureau data. Now, that doesn't mean the rest of the state's underwater. But the question is, how much is underwater? How many houses are we talking about? Private insurers, in comparison, should have no problem paying out claims since they're sitting on a massive pile of cash. Insurers should have no problem being able to pay out claims to policyholders because the industry has cash reserves of roughly $500 billion, according to Matt Carletti, senior insurance analyst at JMP Securities. Estimates for damage caused by Florence range from $5 billion projected by CoreLogic to up to $20 billion projected by Vampire Squid Goldman Sachs. Unfortunately, standard homeowners insurance won't cover any flooding-related issues. We got $500 billion sitting over here because we've raped everybody, thanks to legislation that allows us to, over all these years. But you guys don't have the specific clause, flood insurance, little rider. You don't have the flood insurance rider on your policy. But you guys have $500 billion in there. Sorry. AIG, bankster bailout, no problem. Follow them, size 5s. Those who don't have insurance have one recourse, seeking federal disaster funding. This is often an arduous process. Homeowners not covered for flood damage can seek federal disaster assistance in the form of grants from the Federal Emergency Management Agency, or FEMA, or apply for a loan. Of course, you're going to get a loan from the Small Business Administration, said Steve Bowen, meteorologist for Aon Benfield's Impact Forecasting Division. FEMA may provide up to $33,000 in assistance for home repair, although the average for Superstorm Sandy in 2012 was about $8,000 and roughly $7,100 for Hurricane Katrina in 2005. Quote, you're looking at a lot of homeowners that will have out-of-pocket costs that could easily be 5 figures or more than $10,000, said Kathy Seifert, an insurance analyst at CFRA, a Wall Street research firm. But even homeowners who have private policies could be forced to pay out of pocket for some repairs, since insurance typically only covers 1/3 of total economic losses. See, so they get you there too. Insurance typically only covers 1/3. We got $500 billion in our war chest. Hi, I'd like to make a claim. Been paying you out the rear end for the last 20 years. Got a little problem on my house. Here's what we're going to pay for that. Whoa, this isn't quite enough to pay for that. It's like a third short. Well, we paid off your politicians. They allowed us to get fat and rich, and we're just following the law. Sorry. The problem for homeowners is that insured losses generally are only about 1/3 of total economic losses, which puts them on the hook financially for a more sizable part of their home rebuilds if losses are due to uncovered flood costs, Carletti said. To get flood coverage, homeowners must buy a separate policy. I was thinking you just add a little rider. Nope, separate policy. Most purchase this extra coverage from the government-backed NFIP program, which is $20 billion in debt, which is designed to restore your home to its pre-flood condition and replace your possessions. NFIP policies, which carry average premiums of about $600 to $700 a year, but can run into the thousands of dollars in high-risk zones, cover up to $250,000 for a home's structure and up to $100,000 for personal possessions. Of course, while individual homeowners might suffer, they can at least take some small comfort in the knowledge that their struggles should help stimulate the local economy. Well, it says at least on paper. Right, we got to rebuild, we got to stimulate the economy. And how does one stimulate the economy when one's digging into their own back pocket for money they don't have to begin with? Not really sure how that works. Is that kind of like cash for clunkers? Everyone will go out and buy a new car. Yeah, turn in your old clunker. That was working fine. But we want to put you in a 7, 8, 9, possibly 10-year auto loan. Cash for clunkers. Gotta love our government. Gotta freaking love these criminals. Hopefully that criminality is about to end with you-know-who as president, Mr. Trump. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Mr. Trump, President Trump, I apologize. I should have said President Trump or President Donald J. Trump. Is that okay with you? Oh, he's giving me the thumbs up.
From this day forward, it's going to be only America first.
Yeah, baby.